Wycombe got promoted.
They're not in the same bracket, but
Crawley were a very good side, beat us last year.
Yeah, but we've got
confidence though. If we play all these rubbish teams and we lose to them, that's again a confidence.
I think there's a point there.
But I mean,
what I would probably will say is that the selection of friendlies shows that the focus is on how they feel, basically the team preparation rather than the fans. It does kind of stick in the throat a little bit.
Everyone wants, like some
fantasy,
yeah,
to Greece
yeah,
or
some
like
they can incorporate like a couple of Palace games with 2 weeks on the piss in Ibiza, but it just isn't going to happen. At the end of the day, you've got to look. We're looking 10 months of the season more or less, and these players go back to training I think next week, and at the end of the day, we want everybody fit, and to know who his best team is, and it's all about the preparation, and that to me is more important than who the opposition are.
I think you've got to trust that the staff at Palace know what they're doing. You've got to give them the option. They might be wrong. They might have selected the wrong opposition, but you've got. Dougie talked about getting teams that are relatively local or on the way from their training camp in the southwest. So, iPads.
117 for 5, going well.
I tell you what though, Warnock took the team down to the West Country, didn't they? He's taken QPR down there this year. Yeah. QPR Premiership too.
And you know the reason is because he's got a holiday home.
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, no, but at the end of the day, that's disgraceful. He's doing this. It doesnn't matter. That's the point I'm saying. He's taking the Premiership team down to Cornwall, Championship team down to Cornwall. And Warnock did business with us, irrespective of
no, that's right. Yeah, no, you're spot on.
And in that respect, I don't have a problem with the opposition, but I do have a problem if we lose.
Good stuff.
Good
point. Well argued. Good stuff. Right, from there, let's leave friendlies behind. I'm still looking at my piece of scribbled paper. I wanted to talk about ticket sales. I'm not going to go into as much detail as I was going to on this. We've sold around 8,500 season tickets. I've had various messages and picked up on things on message boards from quite a few people actually coming back to Palace, even though we're down about 500 on what we sold last year so far. The campaign, the poster campaign. Have you guys all seen posters?
That's a good point today. Today I was driving through Shepperton, random part of Surrey, and I saw a big billboard poster for Palace, and I thought that's what we like to see.
Which one was it? Be the 12th man?
Yeah. Be the 12th man.
There's a lot of them. Outside of actual South London, it seems to be.
Bromley, in the shopping centre in Bromley. Had one. South London and Pride. South London and Pride.
South London and Pride, you said first there. It was wrong, wasn't it? South London and Pride. But I think that sort of stuff it's a great campaign. It's the right thing to be doing. To be appealing to people's emotions rather than. You can't logically say that buying a Palace season ticket is definitely a good idea.
It's definitely up and down, that's for sure.
unless you're a masochist like me who's going to try and go to every game next year. It's the sort of thing where if you're not a season ticket holder or you've never been a season ticket holder, how are you going to appeal to those people? And I think this is the way to say, look, those of you who don't regularly go to games or who don't even go to games at all, for whatever reason, the atmosphere at Palace is as good as I've ever seen it.
Best in the country almost.
It's phenomenal. You know what I mean? You look at the last game of the season against Forest as a prime example of that. That
place was rocking.
That was. We lost 3-0. We got absolutely hammered. But people appreciate that the act of supporting a football team, the act of going to a football match, is about the togetherness. It's about just basically having a good time and not getting wrapped up in the things that you can't change. Do you think? I suppose the question really before we move on, do you think the club could be doing more to sell tickets? Because 8,500. Compare that to our rivals down on the south coast there. Obviously, brand new stadium.
That's the only reason why they're buying it. They want to sit in a decent ground for once.
18,500 have sold season tickets. Now, most of those are to people whose second team is Brighton. They're all Man United fans. But basically, that's a huge, and it's one of the reasons why the owners want to move grounds. But aside from that, they've offered. Pat's just sitting at the bar, man. Anyway, they've at the end of the day they've offered. No, she's not. She's quite nice.
I thought that.
We would all agree on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Sorry, we're on the
Yeah,
thing.
sorry,
Yeah.
carry on.
Listen, I'd just say, is there anything else?
Yeah, I've got a quick comment. I think the figures are reflected in the fact that
Cancel the show.
Never.
Matt Fat Packham
Got to.
back off.
Got to.
We might even pause if when you're in.
But I think a lot of people are on long-term season ticket deals that through the Jordan era. I think something like, about 1,500.
Yeah.
So that's another sort of 1,500 people that we can't wind in this season, but may expire next season, or a proportion of those will. It would obviously take a few years. But I've got a guy who sits next to me who's got a season ticket for about 17 years. That he kept renewing for like under ridiculously well good value, but not for the club, but for him as an individual. You get adding sort of 5-year blocks onto a season ticket, and he ended up with about 17 years. So it's going to be a while before he needs to renew his season ticket.
There's one guy who's got a ticket for life that's been honoured as well. I mean,
Really?
it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
There's not much the club can do to be honest. Season tickets. You could argue
Results.
lower it for
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
results, opposition, another
that's what I
thing.
think. I think there's some good games. You know, we've got teams like Leeds, West Ham, Millwall, Cardiff,
Big games.
and Bristol, and and all teams that have got large numbers of fans that will travel. And I think we'll see Sellers quite full on more occasions than the recent season.
You've basically gone on We've gone on to the next subject, really, which is
sorry.
No, which is good. It's really good. It's about the fixtures we've got next year. Obviously, the first fixtures are not long been out. You look down that list of fixtures. For me, it's one of the most exciting seasons for a long time. I don't want to miss a game.
No easy game.
There's no easy game. But every single game has got a bit of bite to it, a bit of a reason why you think, I really want us to win that one. Our first away trip to Brighton's new stadium should be hilarious.
We're still going to make more noise than they.
Of course we are.
Even though they got 18.5 there.
Yeah, 17 and a half of those have never sung a song in Brighton in their lives, so it's fine.
You're all glory hunters. Go on.
And we'll be watching this, Aaron. You better not be, you Brighton scum.
If you are.
Oh man. Okay, I'm going to come round to you guys. What's the game you're looking forward to most?
What, the opposition or
opposition?
Well, I mean, obviously,
Home or away?
I'm obviously looking forward to. It's 5 years, isn't it, since we played Brighton? I'm obviously looking forward to both those fixtures, home and away. Sort of going a bit further afield, than the obvious candidates like West Ham and Millwall.
Sorry, I'm just going to check. Correct.
That's what we like.
And we got your toilet flush recorded as well.
Yeah, you did. I hope so.
Yeah, good dump.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That was Brighton.
Hey! A lot of slack being thrown at Brighton.
Leeds away, I'm looking forward to.
Leeds away, okay. Ben?
West Ham's a big one. I've got a mate who's a West Ham fan, so it'd be nice to beat them and have a bit of banter with him. Other than that,
Obviously Brighton, Millwall.
yeah, there's just the standard ones in there. Birmingham's one that I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah.
So,
Nice to have them back around. Aaron?
Blackpool.
Possibly Crawley in the cup, but I'd have to say Brighton, because if we do win, I'll be able to go into college. You're all losers! Who's your daddy now?
Yeah, just remember though, if it's the other way round, you're going to have problems.
Yeah, it is.
Might have to get a job.
Right, do you know what? That's everything on my list.
Really?
So has anyone else got anything they'd like to add?
Yeah, before we go.
have a lovely summer.
When are we back on air?
That's my next part. Don't ruin my next part.
Oh my god.
He's leading on to these like a genius.
Mark is he's psychic. He just knows exactly where I'm going to go next.
Man.
Alright, well look, this has been something of an experiment. I hope the video comes out well and I hope you enjoy it. I hope
Thanks to Reigate Priory Cricket Club for letting us.
Thank you, people in the
and
bar.
to Matthew Packham.
Supplying us with drinks.
What was supposed to happen is that Matt Packham was supposed to buy a round of shots for the last thing.
And we were going to have that
But
on.
I think he's actually had to go and back, so...
Wait, don't stop.
Did he go and check?
That's
I
just
thought
an
I'll be
excuse.
talking, you
And then,
come back
we were actually going to have Matt actually buying a round on film.
We were, because
and
we
that
had
was
never seen it.
Yeah, that was the sort
never
of
happened.
crux of the whole thing.
What I wanted to talk about, obviously, we are back with the first live show on the 18th, isn't it, Mikey?
Producer
He
Mikey,
doesn't
for
know.
Christ's
get your
sake.
diary out. Wake up. You've had about an hour to sort
I
this out.
think it's the 18th. Like I said before, there might be some live content before then, direct from friend Liz. Certainly when the season gets underway, we might
Keep your
try
eye on the
something.
boards, yeah.
It would probably involve me reporting from a friendly and one of these other people
He's not
hosting
batting.
the show. He's not batting yet.
There we go.
Is he going to buy any drinks?
I don't know.
Nah, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
11 for the 18th, apparently.
Wait for it. 11/18th. So either the 11th or the 18th. Just keep an eye out. Yeah. I think that's it really. Can I end?
Thanks Chris for hosting. Thanks for Mikey for producing the show.
Yeah.
Good to see Aaron. Good to see Ben. Matt was
A fleeting visit, but
yeah.
he's. To be
And
honest,
what he had to say was toilet. So
to be honest, it's best. Yeah, it is best that he wasn't around.
and it sounds better actually when he's lying down on a Sunday night or on a Monday.
In his underwear.
Yeah.
Can't go there, though.
Can I just say, obviously, again, thanks to everyone who's got involved today. We would very much like your feedback on the video for a start. We would. Yeah, I just don't know what's going to.
If you can afford to buy Chris a razor, he'd appreciate it.
Well, no, we're
design a
not the best looking guys on the radio.
I got easy. Speak for yourself.
That's why we're on radio, mate.
No, seriously, have you seen the people who are on radio? We are the best looking guys on radio.
Actually,
I'm not saying we're good looking, but we are the best.
I've just reconsidered
We have
that.
got the face for radio.
Delicious, Ben.
See?
You get that? Ben's delicious.
He's
Matt,
delicious.
according to Chris.
Do you know Ben's sitting next to me next year during home games.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to
He
that.
bought a child ticket, has he?
Yes, yeah.
Tightwad.
Concession.
Running a boost to
Look,
sleep with.
okay, listen, thanks for listening and watching.
Yeah, have a good summer.
Hopefully by the time you see this, Mikey would have put a whole radio logo here
Next to my head.
or here.
No,
Oh no,
yeah,
there where Mikey's pointing.
just above
Sorry,
my
whole
head.
radio, whole TV. And that the implications are amazing.
Don't miss it.
We look forward to talking to you again during the season and next year. Bye!
Later, folks.